Let's get this show started!
Never re-engaged 170-pound successes, bottled the Anderson fight, only moved when one-eye fighter presented, played safe. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ. Offended?
Who's he talking about? Who's he talking about?
Who could he possibly be talking? Who in the world fought George St. Pierre with one eye? Let's go through the list. There's many, many people. So anyway, so I went on Twitter. I honestly can't remember what I said. I'm not bothered, but like, he's referring to me there clearly. So like, I've got to respond. Oh, here it is. Well, this one-eyed fighter you speak of actually beat your number one in Anderson Silva, and he defended his belt. So your logic doesn't really add up. Anyway, have a good day. #facts. And yeah, there you go. One-eyed, no eyes, one-eyed tied behind his back. No fight against Bisping is easy. Anyway, yeah, listen, I'm not interested in having beef with Conor. He's having a bit of fun. He's talking about goats. But he mentioned me there, and I feel, I'm allowed to bang my own corner. Lewis, you're stirring the pot here, okay? I'm trying to keep things cordial. I even went back later on. Hold on, bring up the other tweet, Brian. I went back with a very cordial tweet. Because listen, at the end of the day, McGregor is very exciting. He's the man. He's on the top of the MMA mountain. It's as simple as that. And, I'm a bit long in the tooth. I'm 41 years old. I'm not going to get bothered because somebody's on a tirade on Twitter and somebody says that. But I'm allowed to defend myself. Defend myself vigorously. Yeah, I'll do that. You look. I'm joking. He's a legend of the game. Oh, so somebody put, I'm Irish, so the notorious MMA will always be a legend, but you are one class act. And I put, he's a legend of the game for sure, not throwing any digs. Most exciting fighter in the game. Still, I read that and I had to respond. Listen, we have the same management company, so I'm not trying to start any beef with McGregor. More having a laugh, if I'm honest. I was just in the garage this morning, pounding shoulders and bicep and abs with Callum, and we just had a little laugh. Having a little fun on Twitter.
I'm being told right now negotiations aren't going great for that fight. Now, who's to blame? Who's at fault? Unclear. Negotiations aren't going great for that fight. So it seems as though Jorge Masvidal is saying, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm turning my attention to Nate Diaz. Then all of a sudden, I want to get your thoughts on this in a second. Then all of a sudden, we got Usman's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, telling Brett Okamoto, hey, if that's true, we're going to fight Conor for the belt, right? And then when you start to think about the whole situation, if Nate and Masvidal are linking up and Usman is left on the island, I mean, could you really justify giving Conor the title shot? It seems like a stretch. You've got guys like Leon Edwards and Colby Covington and the winner of Woodley Burns out there. Then you got a situation where Gaethje and Khabib appear to be matched up. We're turning to July. Conor's without a dance partner. There's literally no one there that makes any sense for Conor McGregor, which is crazy, the biggest draw in the game. And I can't get over, to be honest, I can't get over the hypocrisy of Usman's team saying, oh, Conor has to win 10 fights to be in the conversation with Khabib, but we're going to give Conor a welterweight title shot when you've got guys like Colby, Leon Edwards, Tyron Woodley, Gilbert Burns out there? Come on.
Seven people who were in contention for that title, and I think that there is definitely not one clear answer. And then Conor was putting himself at number 2. I don't really think that is the case whatsoever. He didn't defend the belt at either weight class, which weighs heavily in the negative column for me. He got dominated by Khabib. He did not win any one of those rounds. And then the last thing... And then the last thing would be that, obviously, he lost to Nate Diaz, who is not all that highly ranked. So let's go through everybody else. So I would say, if we're going to talk real number ones, and like I said, any of these guys can be number one, but real number ones, I think there's 2 guys that are considered. Khabib, undefeated. The knock on him is his schedule has not been hard enough. Listen, I don't give a damn about that. He fights in what I think there's 2 divisions that could be considered the toughest. It's 155 or 170. That's the average size of a human being. And once you start getting into these really larger weight classes, a lot of those guys who would be at the top of those divisions are playing other sports. Okay, so Khabib, obviously, strength of schedule is the one thing. I think he does 2 more fights against, Gaethje, obviously, is next in line. And then whether it's Ferg or Conor or whoever it is, I think that, he could potentially cement himself. John Jones, he also hasn't really lost. I refuse to count the Matt Hamill thing as a loss. That absolutely is not. He won the title. For me, 2 things on him. Number 1, his last couple fights were against contenders who I didn't really feel were all that great. And he also obviously has USADA issues. So I think a lot of people think that probably disqualifies him for the conversation. He's had multiple USADA issues. And so that's, if you don't want to count USADA, John Jones is number 1. Okay? That's pretty simple. If you do count USADA, I think that takes him significantly down the list.
I love this fight, but I hope that other people aside from you and I understand what's on the line here. Look, if you think that Tyron Woodley just got an easy fight, that means you don't know who Gilbert Burns is. Gilbert Burns is very quietly putting the streak together, not to mention he just knocked out Damian Maia, the former two-time #1 contender in 2 different weight classes in the very first round. That matters, but it's also relevant. You get a guy like Gilbert Burns, a medalist from the World Submission Championships. Okay, this guy knows exactly what to do on the ground. But now all of a sudden, every hook point, he's starting to figure things out here. That sounds a lot like what Tyron Woodley did. Tyron Woodley, 2-time All-American Division I from Missouri, right? Then all of a sudden, he's knocking guys out. He's putting hands on people. I mean, he even won the championship over Lawler with some big strikes. So they're very similar guys. And Burns, I think, is one of these guys that's looking to get his big push here in 2020. Tyron's looking to get back to the title. John, this fight makes a ton of sense. And I have to bring this up because if Tyron gets over on Burns, Tyron deserves credit. And I don't want anybody to go, oh, well, it was Gilbert Burns. No, excuse me. Gilbert Burns is the real deal. I don't know that I would buy into the idea that Tyron Woodley is likely to get submitted. Damian Maia wasn't close to doing it, just by example. Tyron knows what he's doing on the ground. But, John, these guys are very close in this area. Look, Tyron's going to favor position over submission. Gilbert's going to favor submission over position. But I'm not sure that I'm sold that this is going to the ground, at least not early. Gilbert Burns is very good defense, and Tyron Woodley loves to stand and bang. In many ways, when you look at these guys and you study their fight, they're the same guy. In many ways, they are the same guy.